Greetings everyone, please give a moment to make sure everything's set on up. Bolt is going, Twitch is going, YouTube is going, Twitter is going. Looks like everything's going good. Oops, forgot to turn on the chat windows. And there we go. All that appears to be good to go. So let's go and find a replay. What am I thinking? Yeah, my mind's a little bit melted at the moment. Ew, I wonder. Not highly rated. Okay, that would be an okay one to get started. Granted, this is all random guess, and hence why I'm trying to find higher rated players. Higher rated players in higher, longer length games. That is my method of guessing. That's really low rated. This one shall do. And while that's loading up, I'm going to check my other. I did forgot to turn on my other computer to make sure to view the live streams and monitor it. But either way, let's go get started. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Age Mythology replay. Spawn on the right side is the blue Zeus. We got Corinthian Knights. Spawn on the top left side as the red Ra. We got AMC 693. Looks like right now he's clicking on some delicious giraffes. I wonder how giraffe tastes in real life. And now, of course, got giraffes being obtained there. I first thought when I clicked between the two players, it was the same player, because the giraffes and granary and everything like that was in the same position. Of course, initial eco game. I'm going to fast forward a little bit. When it comes to the tower relics, we got Tower Cessus gives towers plus 100% bonus damage for myth unit. So he's able to defend himself, perhaps against some like centaur raids. We do have Rhea's Crown, making town center and village centers cost less, as well as generate a little bit of favor. Down south, we do have the Black Lotus, which does improve farming collection rate. And we do also have the Staff of Dionysus, gives villagers some health regen. And this relic here, of course, will give extra bonus to Ra, who also has some food bonuses. Primarily the God Power. Big line of walls and a temple. You have some goats now being obtained. Scout moving around. And we do have now an obelisk being pulled in the field to torment his opponent. You have now age up for Zeus, going for Athena, go acts as a Minotaur and Restoration. Prostagma. Scout moving around. We do now have the Path, give access to Wadgets, and more important to Shifty Sands. I'm not a big fan of Wadgets. Even though I prefer range myth units, I just don't like Wadgets. They're not very good, in my opinion. And we do have a decent amount of flags. So this is a scouting path. Just trace the flags. Age up now complete for blue. There's Norm the Minotaur as well as Jason. Red is still aging up, but the priests are being put on the field, so he will have an anti-myth unit. Jason moving around, Norm the Minotaur there. Granary now being established. All the giraffes have been eaten. There's the Wadjet. The Wadjet does offer 12 damage. Of course, have poison all the time. His attack speed's pretty slow. I feel like, I don't know, Wadjets just doesn't feel like they do all too much. Then again, I also don't put much value into poison damage. Damage over time may work for RPGs and MMOs. They don't really work for RTSs, honestly. Blue does steal the goats. He's not tasked them back. He's tasked them back now. Scout is down. Not big surprise. The goats do move out at 2.25. The Wadjet can catch up at it, who moves at a pretty slow rate of 3.8. Even though it has wings, it guess it drank a bit too much Red Bull. More Minotaur now being established. We do have the Scallop Axes, increasing axeman damage by 15%. And we've got the Sawed Off. It reduces the cost of farms by 50% and build time by 50%. So it's easier transition to it, which is useful for going for rain if you want to make use of that god power. Because right now, we'll do absolutely nothing. Axeman should be relatively decent versus Zeus. He likes to go for his infantry. Doesn't have to, but the Axeman will be useful against hoplites. Shifting Sands. Oh, there's the Shifting Sands. So one villager does go down. Other villagers going to run away from the Wadjet. Jason and I think the Minotaur is falling back. They are bold Minotaurs, so they move at a decent pace. 5.4. Does get a bull gouge. Another Minotaur there. So it looks like blue should be able to win this fight. Minotaur do 17 damage at a higher attack speed, so the Wadjet, look how quickly the Wadjet disintegrates. And there's also a priest there. The priest will do some damage, but it's more of a soft counter than a hard counter since how cheap the priest is. It's a good support unit, but needs a front line for its support, ability to support. Red's now trying to claim those berries. It's better to go for the hunts. Hunt meat is more nutritious than berries. Then again, even in real life, berries are far more nutritious than what is in video games. It is taking the fact that how much we've selectively bred various fruits and vegetables throughout the years to be a bit more nutritious. When I say nutritious, it just I literally mean just contains calories. Because even nowadays, berries, they don't give you many calories. Hence why they're a decent diet food. Almost are going down, but Red pulls back the villagers. They're in a dangerous position right now. Maybe better to charge and try to migrate them back. He knows he sees where the Minotaur is going, so he's trying to test back to the berries, which is going to be a good call this month. Got 7 priests here, a couple hoplites and Jasons. Got some slingers here. Bull Minotaur do run away. They do have very good movement speed. They actually run faster than chariot archers that his opponent could deploy on the field, and that's a mounted archer. These guys are slowly being stoned to death. They're just regular hoplites, not even medium hoplites at the moment. Shifting Sands will soon be available once again, and he has enough favor from the more Shifting Sands. I wonder if that's intended, going for 2 monuments to get out not Shifting Sands after Shifting Sands, which is simply a possibility. Oh, Axemen managed to creep their way over here. Those may have been the same Axemen that managed to stuck around, not get focused down by the Bull Minotaur. They may have hid in the corner. Was not paying attention to them. So Blue's losing a decent number of villagers. He does have the... Okay, that's Black Lotus, not the Staff Dionysus for villager health regen. More Minotaur, more Hoplites, and more Toxidae Archers. So I'm going for Axeman Slinger. So in other words, best go for Hippus Cavalry. One of those Axemen is pretty wounded. I think the villagers could be able to shank those guys. Just send the Bull Minotaur up there, and then we'll clear those guys out. My apologies, my nose is starting to run, so you may hear me sniff a little bit. Sniffle. By the way, we've got the Axemen and Slingers moving around, as well as a round of villagers heading to this town center. We do have scaffolding, that's why I didn't see enough gold. And the Pharaoh will empower its production. Good number of Bull Minotaur here, which can defeat this force, though may lose that wounded one. Let's see, Blue's going for copper or medium range attack, Sauricia, and the plow. Villagers idle here. And they need to keep on running. Another reason why to task them. Just task them to run away. The villagers backing on off. We do have the goats being untamed. They're not fully fattened, but looks like they're fat enough. Here comes a Bull Minotaur. We've got a round of priests here. That is probably adequate numbers. So, and he does focus on the wounded Minotaur there as well. Bull Minotaur, Boars, got Restoration utilized. You can use Shifting Sands to escape. Bolts one the priest. Looks like Blue's getting a little bit desperate. He's trying to bolt a priest. This is quite a bit of force Blue's going to lose. And was unable to kill off the priest and the rest. And there's only one Bull Minotaur remained. There's a fresh one right there. More Toxidae being deployed on the field. It looks like that Bull Minotaur will go down. Blue's going for a healthy number of Bull Minotaurs. And all those wounded units getting healed up by the 4 priests. Very, very nice. Though they won't get full heal off before the next engagement, and the priest needs to actually attack and not try to heal. But priest does go down. He does decide to fall back. He does have a basic gate there, but some of these guys are getting trapped. He lost all of his priests, which is a bit of a problem. There's still now two Bull Minotaur on the field. Going for some Wadgets. I do not like Wadgets. Both player, Blue is getting relatively close to age up. Red is nowhere near to age up. A couple more villagers got gored there. Of course, got the town center here as well. And I think Red has a Staff of Dionysus since he see health regen notifications. Yep, looks like we got a relic. It is Staff Dionysus, so his villagers have a bit of health regen. Makes it a bit more resilient to subsequent raids. More of those villagers going on down. We've got the Electrum bullets. I actually looked up what Electrum is made of. It is a gold-silver alloy. Why would someone use gold-silver alloy? as a weapon. Well, that's because actually gold and silver are not uncommon to mine out together. We do have now the vulnerable minotaurs do go down. Blue does back on off. When it comes to a lot of rare earths, if you also include gold into the term rare earth, they actually come in, how to put it, a lot of different ores, a lot of different raw materials all mashed in together. So you have to take time sifting out and take time to separate them, which is actually very difficult even nowadays, hence why rare earths are so expensive. And gold and silver are very common to find each other in the same ore. But what if it's because the element, how they originally formed, gold and silver originally formed, was because since they are in the same periodic table column, I wonder if that makes any indication why they sometimes naturally form like that. But that could just be just putting heads and tails together, which is incorrect. We got Hercules now pulling field, good number of wadgets. And we still just got regular hoplites, not even medium hoplites. Got a good number of axemen and priests on the build queue. Got Sobek to get the Petruchos, which can be upgraded to Pet Sobek. Thanks, Variant. And this is no longer a gate there, it's just a wooden wall, which of course is not his own wooden wall, but it has increased health then. Some of the dual minotaurs going down. Gun on Slinger's back line. The Slingers looks like hitting a little bit everything. Electrum Bolts does give him a little bit of divine damage. Which is probably more because of the silver part of the Electrum rather than the gold part, because silver is apparently good against a lot of monsters. So we'll go down there. Red will hold. He had a pretty good sized army there. Blue has more reinforcements being gathered on up. Petsuchos is now available. Some laser crocodiles. A fan favorite among many children when growing up, like myself. Because who doesn't like laser crocodiles? Mid-goal stronghold going on up. We got a hoplite saying no. Now got the wooden gate has been formed. Good number of slingers and axemen on the build queue. 6 priests, 5 priests on the build queue as well. And I just love hearing the priest healing sound effect. You know that you get doing some good work if your priest can actually take time to heal up something. Red's just being a little bit more passive than Blue, which is probably perfectly fine. He has 2 town centers. Blue has only the 1 so far, so it's getting decent economic advantage. The rock is flying about, not for any drops, but just for some scouting. Mid-goal stronghold, I think, could have been pushed forward a little bit more to help protect the choke point. Oh well. Locusts. Oh! Locusts do bonus damage versus farms, so he's eating all these farms. And farms, 75 wood, and there's what? 10 farms went down? That's 700 wood down the drain, or 750. And I think that was more than 10 farms. That's a lot of wood loss for Blue. And Blue does not have any wood stockpile. So that is a permanent economic damage onto Blue. Locust is a very nice god power. Because something just nuke your opponent's entire farm line, not necessarily the villagers. Villagers took a hit though. Times in which he had his staff Dionysus, not red. We have an Ajax going for Dionysus. We're giving next to Hydra to hail. Hercules does take out some wadgets. Hercules does go down. Priests need to be micro to hit those bull minotaur. It looks like everything's being stoned to death. Another bull minotaur being employed in the field. And there's hail. There's Hydra. Hail it. Heavy axemen ripping apart the villagers. Guess those axes are executioner axes. And looks like blue goes ahead and backs out of the game. This is Angry saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Let's see now. Decent replay, not the highly rated players, but just good enough to have a fair, good fight with each other. That one was. Minimum, I want to try to find at least 1,200. Kaladin, we'll keep an eye on that one. Here we go. Let's do Dope 1. Oh, that's 0. Greetings everyone, and great here. Another Age Mythology replay. Spawn on the bottom left side as the blue Odin. We got, that is actually a 0 based on the load screen I saw. We got D0P1s or Doppy. Spawn on the top right side as the Zeus, red Zeus. We got Isomarto. I have no idea. I never know how to pronounce stuff because I'm horrible at pronouncing anything. Either way, when it comes to relics on the map, let's see if anything special. We got the Bow of Artemis, makes ranged soldiers and ranged smith units cheaper, and this is on Odin's on the map, so maybe, let's see, he has access, no, he doesn't have access as Troll, right? He gets Inhari and Valkyrie. Maybe Fire Giants wouldn't be half bad for that. I do like Fire Giants. On the right side, we do have the Scarab Pennant. Mountain Giants and siege weapons, so close range siege weapons and myth units. And here's another relic way up here. Hectic Torches reduces the cost and cooldown of god powers, very fun. And Jade here improves myth unit speed, that came quite nice. A lot of the ravens are classified as myth units. If they are, that could help them make them better scouts. Temple will now be employed in the field. It says myth units, so could potentially get increased movement speed by picking up that relic to make his free scouts even better at scouting. Or rush more quickly to their death. 1 to 5. We do now have Athena aging on up, so Red will have access to the Minotaur. There's Norm the Minotaur. Jason here can throw some spears against that Raven. And Red will actually pick up that relic. He will pick up the Bow of Artemis, which means, let's see, Zeus cannot get the Manticore. Yeah, no, the Zeus can get the Manticore. He has access to either the Manticore or the Hydra, not the Nemean Lion. So he could perhaps make good use of it for the Manticore. I do love the Manticore. Other things as well as could be the Medusa. Of course, Toxdays. And Peltas. Not really need to go for Peltas if you really want to deal with the throwing axemen. Toxdays will do just fine in that situation. Minotaur about to go down. Valkyrie gets bolted. The Minotaur does have the Bull Minotaur upgrade, so it does move pretty quickly. Hope and Idle. And Pop. Oh, nope, survives. Down to 4 health. Great Hunt has been summoned. A very fine hunt indeed. The Bull Minotaur just need to keep on running, and Hercules picks up that relic. Something doesn't seem right to me. Jason's going straight over there. He must know have a pattern where the relics spawn on this map, because both of those heroes went charging straight for his opponent's relics on his opponent's side of the map. I don't know the pattern for relic spawns, so there could be a pattern that Red knows about quite well. That can simply be the case. I don't know. It also could be a sign of a map hack. I don't want to make any permanent accusations. Some people just have to keep an eye out for Red's movement. Bull Minotaur push way forward, and idle there. This is a 1500 rated game, so these players are very good. So it could be just good map knowledge. But part of me just still has a ounce of suspicion. Boy, because I also do cast quite a bit of Comfy Heroes 2. Not Comfy Heroes 2, Comfy Heroes 1, which has pretty bad map hacks. Hoplite going down to the raiding cavalry. More raiding hoplites straight forward. Longhouse being built. Got some throwing axemen. Toxays would be a good counter to them, since throwing axemen are classified as both as infantry and raiding soldier. This is not a fight a Bull Minotaur will want to take.
Yo.
So Axeman does get gored there. Also throwing Axeman a largely hitting Hercules, which is not classified as an infantry unit. And I'm throwing axe or raiding cavalry now pulling the field. Herseer trying to hit the Bull Minotaur. I wonder where that other wounded one may have went. If it's still alive, that can be very useful. Forest Fire summoned there. That gunpowder is so bad. It's getting some damage to Toxday, just not very good damage. I think the best case scenario for Forest Fire is Lily versus Gaia, just to burn the free forest that she summons. Hercules taking a bit of damage there. Raiding Cavalry now push right forward. They do have a decent amount of health regen going on. Village a little bit exposed there. There's a fresh Bull Minotaur. Villagers getting back into that sentry tower. A couple of them couldn't make it in. But he does go ahead and stop the raiding cavalry, who probably should just stay back and just get some that passive healing going. They're all quite wounded. We do now have the Desablot. Increase upgrades Valkyries or Shield Maiden Valkyries. As well as increase their damage and healing rate. It may be a good idea if he wherever. Nope, Zeus bolted the first Valkyrie, I remember. Seen to pull on the field, so maybe pull out another one just for a bit of healing of these raiding cavalry. We desperately need the healing. Got more production structures being deployed in the field. We do have a Pegasus deployed in the field, just get a bit of scouting going. Herseer and medium infantry, and we've got medium range soldiers queued on up as well. We do have a good number of Bull Minotaur. Here comes a raiding cavalry back here. Sentry tower is up and going. Medium raiding cavalry will get Bull gored. It looks like they will manage to fall back. Toxie is taking a little bit of damage there. Now we've got a Valkyrie here to help with the healing rate as well as raiding some. Taking time to kill off these caribou, which not only degrades them, but also perhaps generate a tiny bit of favor. Nothing too significant. Big round of forms being established by red. Got gatherers now gathering up some animals in the middle of the map. Armory now being established on the front line, just because that's where his builders are located at. More Valkyries on the build queue. Blue still has access to restoration, so that could allow, or red still has access to restoration, which will allow him to win a fight if needed. Good number of Herseers playing field. They are classified as infantry, so we'll see bonus damage from the Tux phase. Now we got an age up, going for Scotty, gets access to the Frost Giant and Frost. Does manage to close in the hole there. We got more damage there if he was paying close enough attention.
Yow.
Units getting disrupted there. Should just kept on going along the edge of the map. Ooh, maybe eyeing for a secondary town center. There is a market there. Village is idle there. Unit goes down. Now at the center tower taking some damage. And now we do have Apollo being aged up with, so he's going to make good usage of the Bow of Artemis.
Skipan.
Villager's about to get hit. Valkyrie takes some damage there. Most of the raiding cavalry's down, just now pretty much just Valkyries. All the raiding cavalry goes down, just the Valkyries remaining. Got some Goldie now being deployed in the field. They take a lot of extra damage there. Big round of Herseers on the build queue. I wonder... Any unique technologies researched? Nope, nothing yet. More Goldie, more Herseers. Looks like Blue's designed for a heroic army, which can be countered by basic infantry units. And there's Frost. The villagers do get frozen as well. This will freeze down the entire army. The fortress will go down. Odysseus now on the build queue. No gold income, so red may need to sell off some food. Handful of pellet brought in the field by red. Takes down that fortress for free. Of course, these guys are frozen, which will increase the armor up to 99%. Restoration now popped. Villagers are collecting all in combat, or near the combat. Red didn't really reinforce this region. Gold Minotaur heading towards throwing Axeman, very nice. Genova Tuck stays in the field, Hoplites means good work done. Since the army is mostly heroic, heroic units are more closer to counter units rather than a primary combat force. And so Red's equally sized army is able to defend himself quite well. Jason needs to hit those Valkyries. Looks like Odysseus went down there. Blue's going for more throwing Axemen. Red's kind of going for nothing. He needs to actually queue something up. He has a lot of food and gold, or food and wood. Can solve some of those resources for gold if needed. More Peltas, more Hypastus. Hypastus overall will be good. It'll counter both the throwing Axemen and the Perseer, but will be countered by the throwing Axemen. And equally not great versus Gobi. Perseer is getting shanked by these villagers. And Bull Minotaur has gone down there. Blue Red just needs to pull back the villagers from this region and just regroup his forces. He does have a marking field, sell off 500 wood and food, and that should give him enough gold to work with. Blue also has more villagers right now since the secondary town center. Regia improves hit points of your heroes by 20%. Red has a good number of high passes, no heavy infantry. Village being retasked has not been retasked to a gold deposit. Needs to get that fixed. Can always go for Manticore and or Minotaur in the meantime. I think Manticore would be pretty good. Red's now trying to obtain this gold deposit, but there's already gatherers there. We also got some Ox Caravan. This is quite ambitious by Blue. Huh. The Ox can continue researching while inside the town center. Never knew that. Deletes the marker there so traders do not automatically get retasked over there.
Yo.
Underworld passage to right here. Very nice. Pegasus in the region. Great counterattack by Red. Got a good number of high passes. They're one-shotting the throwing axe with no problem. It should be useful against Gobi as well. Good number of blue villagers going down. That's exactly what Red needs to get back in the game, killing off a whole bunch of villagers and disrupting the trade as well. Underworld Pass now receiving a bit of fire from all these throwing axemen. Most of these high passes should be tasked away. Got a fortress here now uploaded by Red. And Blue has gone to town center here and has pulled out forward sentry tower. Looks like Red needs a sentry buster. Or watchtower. Sentry tower is here. It's not holding many people anymore. Jarl's being deployed in the front line. Got more watchtowers being deployed by Blue as well. Villagers do go ahead and shank the battering rams. And the underworld passage is still up and going, but should be cleaned up pretty soon. Villagers, I believe, also has a bit of bonus damage versus towers, 2.5 bonus damage. They're actually decent, or they're actually good, but they don't have a whole lot of health. Got this town center also firing away. Red's now down to 39 villagers. Blue's at 74. Ox Caravan. At this one time, he should just pull out a market down here and trade with his town center. Just get something going rather than doing this high risk one. And it looks like actually Blue's out of food income at the moment. Transition to farms now, has good food reserve for farms. And Red is going ahead and back out of the game now. This Angry saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Keep an eye on that one. Here we go. Sorry. Very high rated game. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Age Mythology replay. Spawn on the bottom left side or just left side as the blue prayer. We got Sorry. Spawn on the top right side as the red patron goddess. We got K Luminati. Pilomati. I don't know how to properly pronounce that. When it comes to relics on the map, we got a Tay of Fee, gives you a free fee. We do have a Trojan Gate Hinge, makes your walls have +3% hit points, which actually make your wooden walls a little bit more effective. Goes from what, 500 health to 700. Let a call shell, increase the armor of human soldiers by 5%, pierce armor. And the skulls of Krivos, gives you a set of monkeys. Just initial scouting game, collecting up some goats. Red's pulling on some obelisks. Does obtain these goats.
Yow.
Some housing. There's a temple almost complete. And we do now have a Nubite queued on up, which will give him access to Nubites. Anubis will give access to Nubites. They tend to bite, so give them good head pats. We do have the temple going on up. Hand axe research. Freyr. Can't remember what Freyr offers since it's the D1 DLC gods. Can't remember, but hand axe in this age seems a little bit unusual to say the least. We got Freyja being deployed in the field, will give access to the Valkyries, and the horrible forest fire god power. But that could at least create an opening here. We got watchtowers queued up by Red, so Red's guy eyeing the turtle in a little bit.
Yow.
Oh, looks like Red has picked up a fee. You can see that poison cloud. He's a very stinky boy. Some sort of lion dragon thing. Obelisk will no longer torment his opponent. There's a new bite. Gotta stay away from the Herseer, but there's a Valkyrie here. 14 damage, 1.2 attack speed, which makes it 11.7 versus new bite's 11, which has a fast attack speed and has some good jumps. Another Obelisk being pulled in the field. More Herseers being queued on up. And we do now have the Feet of the Jackal. Increases melee damage by 20%, hit points by 40%, adds 3 range to the jump. Jump attack work rate. What does that mean? Does it make it so its jumps faster? There's new bites there, so it looks like Red's being aggressive with new bites. She can also bring in some snakes.
Yo.
And does get a good kill there. House being destroyed as well. Very nice. We do have a long house here. And the short house goes down. Nice. Jumps away. I think the Nubite would win this fight. They both have ×3 multiplier. Nubites do have a little less health, but he does have higher DPS. Just stay in the fight. Let the other Nubite help him out. Oh, the Feet got some decent poison there. Serpents. This will help slow down the Herseers from responding. Nice manual jump there. He attracted on the ox cart. Not sure that's on purpose or not. Axeman throw it on in. The Fee does go down. The Serpents do not appear to take any bonus damage from these Herseers. I guess they're not classified as myth units. Just snakes. Valkyrie does get eaten by snakes. Gatherer does go down there. Axeman in pursuit of Herseers does pick up on the Herseers will. Overall, Red is doing very, very well. And the snakes were actually deployed successfully. I think it's actually sort of hard to get this God Power to actually be useful since it's just not particularly great. But I think what he did there, why it worked so well, is he was fighting here, trying to pursue the villagers, fighting the Valkyrie, and the reinforcements had to go through the snake. So it's more of a delaying force, a free delaying force that actually does okay, not great. But I think that's why the snakes were actually so useful, and Red is now going forward town center. Blue's going for some walls there, but they may not be important since Red could go for more production over here. Let's go for the Flood of the Nile, or whatever it's called, to get the food trickle. Now Red has 2 town centers. Just a couple goats up here. Oh, as when I notice them, Red knows them. Goats are the goat. Housing slowly being built around the town, those towers, just get a little bit extra defense going. Blue does steal the goats, Red steals the goats. A Nubite probably has a vision range of the raiding cavalry. Definitely has vision of those two. Medium cavalry now being researched by Blue. A Nubite being pursued. He can put us back at the berries, provide some surface area coverage. The raiding cavalry will have a bit of trouble versus the Nubite. Flying ring around the Rosie, very nice. He can probably try to use the jump attack. Does finish off the raiding cavalry, very nice. Jumps away. Of course, Nubite is only 4.3 move speed versus these raiding cavalries have 6. Delicious drafts being obtained. Blue has now built a secondary town center. Red's going for a tertiary town center as well. But I think The new bike should have stood intact to stall out this to protect the villagers. Need to switch targets. The new bike needs to go back on in. Villagers shanking the raiding cavalry. And we got red cleaning up these wall segments. You got another feed deployed in the field. And now red's villagers heading to the gold deposits. A bit of walls here wouldn't be half bad. More throwing X-Men. Blue's now going for the copper armor, copper shields. May have copper weapons. Has medium upgrade. I think this priest is trying to hit to this obelisk there. Nope, he's heading up to this one. Or this one. Blue has a much larger armor than Red's, and Red is right now going for the Spear. The Serpent gives spear and poison damage. Grants adds 0.013 divine damage over 2 melee attacks upon for 6 seconds. Damage over time. That I don't know if that number doesn't seem right. 0.013. Even if that was like per second, that would not be enough damage to even do 1 damage per second, or 1 damage for the entire duration. So it must be whatever 0.013 tick, however long a tick is, or short it is. Gatherers can now get hit by these new bites. A new bite does go down there. Mining camp being empowered. And we do have an age up by Red. The Nephitis, but right now it has to complete the villager queue. There we go. Nephitis does give access to Scorpion Mans and to Ancestors. Couple farms here, going for our big line of barracks, ready to mass a counterattack. Blue's heading towards this gold deposit now, as well as towards this armory, barracks, and town center. Long houses being built now. A lot of throwing axes. I always love how it's just they just miss and spin forever. We also got the monkeys here. Relic monkeys. I don't know if they're classified as monkey or as myth unit or not. Not if that really matters. They have 35 health, 5 damage. They're just extra mass throw opponents. We now have another age up here. Is Ager. Gives access to the rock giants as opposed to the Tempest, or whatever the ice storm is, frost storm is called. We got a good number of spearmen on the field, as well as throwing X-Men. Here comes the Ancestors, come in a good time. This will give Red extra mass and a good damage output there. Hersier's running around a little bit far. Ancestors taking a lot of free damage on or damage onto the human soldiers away from the Pursuers.
Yo.
He does go down there. Got now the scare funeral rites being queued on up gives a bit of gold rebate for your units. And looks like Red will not succeed there. Red has 2 military units on the field. He needs to get that going. He has 4 town centers. His opponent does have semi-population, so there's not going to be a massive economic advantage for a long time. But once he gets done building villagers, he will get a lot of freed up food to, well, use. Hill fort now being established here. We do have now it is called Tempest. I always assume Tempest, associate Tempest with rain rather than snow.
Yeah?
Yeah, that poison damage is not doing too much. I wonder if it's that research is bugged. Maybe it should have been saying like 1.3 or 13 divine damage over 6 seconds. I wonder if this research overall is just bugged, because that seems like the poison damage is not doing really any damage whatsoever. 13 damage over 6 seconds? Sounds powerful? I don't know. But it seems like right now it does look like it does hardly any damage. At least 1 damage per second would be reasonable. Rock Giant here to support. This town center will go down. Right now Red is very low on resources. Oh, he's aging up again to Osiris. So the Son of Osiris can be brought on in. Here comes the Tempest. Miggle Stronghold upgraded. Blue will clean up that region, give enough time. The replacement towns that is already built. I don't know if aging up right now when there's a massive army. Like, I've got right now 124 military units versus 35. Raiding cavalry push forward. Do have some camels, heavy camels to engage, so that's a good count to them. Yeah, the Valkyrie's taking pretty much no poison damage. There's the Son of Osiris. Taking a lot of free hits there. Looks like the bolt's not chaining properly there, but does chain now. This Miggle Stronghold still up. He may be able to save it, got the Rock Giant engaging it though. It'll be good for the Son of Osiris to hit that Rock Giant. Jarl and Ulfsark engaging the Son of Osiris now. More Spearmen do have a massive queue of Chariot Arch, KV Camel Riders and Chariot Archers on the build queue. Rock Giant gets a nice hit there. And looks like these Jarls will get some good damage here onto Son of Osiris. Good number of great Jarls. He's going for a heavy number of them. We don't usually see great Jarls deployed all too often. He only has a Thundering Hooves when it comes to technology at the moment. We now have the age up. We do have Vidar, give access to the Fafnir, the Gold Dragon. So we do have the queue up there of the New Kingdom for his 2 pharaohs. as well as flood control. More camel riders.
Tilbud.
So Erdman wouldn't be half bad. He does go for already existing infantry upgrades. A very good number of great Jarls. Which is funny against been a heavy camel rider, so maybe a good idea to not go for great Jarls with the amount of anti-cavalries on the field. Mummy firing away. Oh, Son of Osiris zaps that Gatherer. And the Rock Giants still causing issues. We do now the Catapult now pull in the field. A good AoE hit there onto these throwing axemen. Catapult getting some good damage there. Son of Osiris, a good number of axemen there. Throwing axemen will counter the axemen, while axemen does counter the throwing axemen. And here comes the fire Dargo. Which is takes out the siege weapons, but it's pretty expensive ability to take out siege weapons. Camera is over a good counter to the throwing axemen. Throwing axemen are pretty much is a counter infantry unit. Well, cameras are a bit more focused to anti-cavalry role, but they're still pretty good generalist cavalry. Blue's now gating all these units over here. Got the champion axemen. Son of Osiris needs to start hitting that rock giant. And a good number of these civilian units for Blue is going down. Blue's at 75. Going for a good number of berserks and throwing axemen. Large number of villagers exposed there to the heavy camels. We do now the champion chariot archers and the champion camels. Rock Giant still poses a threat. Where is the Son of Osiris? There's a priest there to help engage that Rock Giant. I wonder if the Son of Osiris already went down. That'd be a bit of a shame. Oh, I heard him. Ooh, really bad pathing there. Taking a severe amount of damage. If possible, he should try zapping that Rock Giant, but he has 29 health remaining. Rock Giant maybe will one-shot him now. Son of Osiris ripped apart that Rock Giant. The Pharaoh also helped out as well. These Rock Giants. It does have some priests pushing way forward. Of course, the Son of Osiris cannot be healed up by priests, nor by the Pharaoh. Son of Osiris has gone down. Fafnir, that's probably the original Freeman that came out. Fafnir is a overstated unit, but does give a gold bounty upon dying. It equals the amount of gold it costs to build it. So you gotta make sure you get more than 300 gold worth of value out of it before it goes down. Red's now playing on a decent number of mummies. I do like the mummies. No Erdman. I think you really should go for the Spearman for the Norse, since if I can get so many camels. Nice little pop over there. Catapult will go down. Pops a priest out there, and nice little pop there. Ambushes the berserks there. And now for the forest fire, actually put it on a reasonably tactical location. We got some Huskarls on the field, which are pretty quick, like the old Sark. The gold stronghold does go down there. Got the relic monkeys here as well. They're pretty slow, so may want to get them out of the formation. Got some minions. These minions are about ready to disintegrate. Blue's falling back there. Got some more action push along the flank. Good taunts there. These mountain giants, the Burgessiri, or how you pronounce that, have over 1,000 health, so he needs to get out some priests, a hit squad of priests, to help deal with them. He's going a good number of priests, also has a good number of camel trade caravans. Could probably go with some stone walls here to help out the wooden walls. And the Pharaoh right now is empowering the market to improve the drop-off rate there. 54. I can't really see how much that's providing. Or extra drop-off is providing. Got some Ballista now being pulled in the field by Blue. Very nice. You know, it's actually been a very long time since last seen Ballista. Good enough Berserks there. Got Chariot Archers helping engage them. Berserks have pretty low pierce armor, so Chariot Archers should be a decent item against them. One problem with Chariot Archers is that their attack speed is incredibly slow. Handful of raiding cavalry is being deployed in the field. More Chariot Archers being deployed on out as well. Red right now has an army of 120 versus an army of just 89. Red does have slightly more population available at the moment. Both have the fortified town center upgrade. More Berserks and throwing axe being deployed in the field. Red's now push away forward with all these axemen. Handful of catapults ready to siege down various structures. Handful of mid-gold stronghold being pulled in the field. He needs to interrupt this gold mine, which he is now. Probably a good idea to grab the gold if he can as well. Blue has not transitioned to any of the... Now there's some markets with the ox caravans there. Got some unsecure red farms here, which blue could steal if needed. But none of these blue villagers go on down. Good damage on these mountain giants or rock giants. This his squad of priests exactly needs to take out these rock giants. There's one more remaining, and the priests are getting hit. Priests are classified just as heroes, so all Sarks do not, or Huskarls won't do bonus damage against them. And quickly deal with all those mountain giants with a proper counterforce now. We do also have a mummy there, the Mummy Vizier. I think Red needs to go for some more priests. Red also has way too much wood at the moment. May want to take off all but 5 of those villagers off of wood and put them on any other resource. There is a bit of gold here, can task those extra villagers onto as well. Yeah, gold mine's cleaned on up. I can see on the mini-map. Rock Giants, there we go. Priests are properly countering the Rock Giants now. And there's the Gillen Bersetti. This is 1,000 health, 111 damage with 2.85 AoE. This will probably stop this attack wave. He has to sort of more or less fight it. Red's also going for some forward watchtowers. The Gillen Bersetti was great for defense, but it does get removed there. It will cost 300 favor to get it restored. So that gave blue enough breathing room to stop red's advance. But we've got more and more chariot archers being queued on up. Not too many priests on the field at the moment. Red needs to get out a handful more priests. Blue's just pumping out these mountain or rock giants. Got some more mummies being pulled in the field. Axeman push away forward as well, but good enough throwing Axeman Gobi full in the field. Gobi. And red will hold, has a good amount of nickel strongholds for fire support as well as the Money of the Gods. Money of the Gods does provide a divine shield. Number of batteries charged away forward, drawing a lot of fire from the chariot archers. Red's not pulling out too many infantry units for those throwing axemen to counter. Red could go for some slingers to help him out as well. Those will counter both the Gobi and the throwing axemen. We got a good number of mummy viziers here, so you should get some extra minions going. More watchtowers being established by blue. Red's right now shooting in more and more of these chariot archers. And it's going for his Titan. That'd be a bit expensive. He has a bit of resource reserve, not queuing up a lot of units or at all. Red's failing some macro. We do now have the iron weapons research. We've got a handful of berserks in the field. Red has now established his Titan gate. And he's tasking a lot of villagers onto it. So Red's going to try to close the game with the Titan. He needs more gold, but he only has trade caravans left for that. Though this gold deposit can still be collected on up. There is 3,000 gold left there. Red's now sending some throwing axemen to deal with the ox caravan. That is a lot of ox caravan. 60 out of 60. You now have a researcher, Avenging Spirit. Divide our Spirit causes Herseer's hands to grow mightier for each strike. Increasing in size and damage as they hit. The number of bullets are now pulled in the field. The Titan gate should be almost built. 50 seconds remaining on it. More watchtowers being deployed in the field by red as well. Mummy's pushing forward, 2 of them severely wounded. Got a large number of ballista here. Blue's starting to run low on a little bit of everything. Needs more gold. Getting good number of berserks. And going for the engineers. This ballista's doing okay. Doing some decent damage to these units are straggling forward. Able to one-shot these camel riders. And now the Titan has been summoned. Red's just falling back. Regroup. Let the Titan do the work. Blue has also a significant amount of favor stored on up. There's a lot of ballista. Let's see. Increase hit points by 10%. Berserk ability, 9 waves. Either way, these ballista will be useful against all these siege, or against all these towers. And good number of these villagers are actually taking a severe amount of damage there. The Titan, where is the Titan? There he is. Going straight for the caravan's market. This would stop all gold income. No one expects a Titan to harass your trade. Not much you can do to stop that. He's going for a massive round of heroes. He's going to have to go for that against the Titan. Ballista slowly going down. And there we go. All trade has been stopped. Red's going to have trouble pushing through all the Sim City, or the tower defense. Looks like a market may have been reestablished somewhere. Yep, a market has been reestablished. Perseus pursuing the Titan. Red's, of course, breaking out through over here. Throwing Axeman getting hit quite hard. And a large amount of minions will pop on up relatively soon. Let's going to just stand and fight with the Titan now. The Titan does do full regular damage versus heroes. So 70 damage is still quite significant. And Blue does back the game now. This Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Let's see, having trouble even finding above 1200. So right now I'm a little bit sick. My allergy is kicking in. I'm gonna do one more replay. We'll keep an eye on Avenger. That's the lowest score I've seen so far. I don't even want to know what that game even looks like. Here we go, let's do this one. I've never seen a score below 600 yet. I've seen high 600s, but not 501. Must be like one of the worst players on the game. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Age Empires or Age Mythology replay. As well on the bottom side as the blue Hades, we got Alto Parado. As well on the top left side as the red Oranos, we've got DJ Jeffin do PVL. I do not know what that means. This is also a hybrid map, so we do have some fishes available. Blue's dock's a little bit off center. Ideally, we should have been put there, but it is a little bit on the blind side, of course. Excuse me. And my apology, hit my microphone there. Got some cows, gotta keep those doggies rolling. Blue Scout is moving around. When it comes to relics on the map, we do have Hesta's Hearth. Villagers train faster by 5%. That's nice. Ship of fingernails to go give the food trickle. Dwarven calipers. Siege weapons are cheaper. Not bad. And it says siege weapon favor cost. But it doesn't say siege weapon myth unit. Trojan Gate Hinge make your walls 40% more effective. It makes your 500 health HP walls go up to 700. If my offhand math is incorrect. Red is now aging up to Prometheus to get access to Prometheans. Of course, this is the Oranos Promethean, not the Chronos, so he only gets one Promethean. But there was also a bit of a pause there as well.
Έτοιμος.
Promethean has now been aged on up, ready to teach Bob. Excuse me. I think as well, Blue is now just starting to age up since he went for the docks and get some extra fishing going on. Which means the Oranos could be a bit more aggressive this game. But it doesn't look like it. Red's going to be eyeing the collectivist walruses. Don't know where the Promethean is at. Even this age, Jason will not be, or not Jason, Ajax won't be too particularly strong since it's an archaic age. You have severely weakened heroes. You have like 10% damage output. Of course, Promethean does access to the Valor God Power, and looks like he has tasked some of the Valor onto the Oracles. Blue's trying to collect up more fishies, so Blue's economy is better. Red needs to start raiding these stocks or something. Another Valor to field. And now Red has aged up. Granted, Blue will have, or Blue has aged up. Red will have trouble with harassing his opponent because of these Sentinels. I wonder. Town center, village center, or fortress? You know something? I suppose putting around docks it would be not a great idea because then you could proxy a dock in age 1 and cause issues like that. Never mind. I was thinking, what about putting sentinels around docks as a way to buff it? But I can see too much cheese from that. It would be interesting seeing sentinels out in the water. I would not have any issues seeing sentinels on the water in case the town center is right next to the edge of the water. I got a large number of Termas, which is the range cavalry for the Atlantean. They're not particularly great in my opinion. Their attack speed is absurdly slow. The damage output is, of course, they are meant to be a counter archer unit. Which Hades tend to go for archers. He's the archer of the 3 Greek gods. Hoplites now in the build queue for blue. A very large in these Turmas. We now have Thea queued on up for the Dryad and Symphiline Bird. More Valor, I'm not sure where, but probably more of the Oracles. You know, I could probably, here's how I can find where the Oracles are at. I can go switch to him and click on right here. One. Okay, he's using Valor and something else, maybe on the Turmas. No, there's only one heroic Turma, so he must be using on citizens to do their part. Armory now being deployed in the field. Blue's pretty forward with a pretty small force. Red has a larger force, but also doesn't have any units to counter any of these units. Barring the heroes against the Minotaur, Norm the Minotaur. We got Saracia being queued on up. And we do have the sky patches here to help evacuate these villagers. The heroic citizen can, of course, shank the Bull Minotaur no problem. Does score that villager there, very nice. Village goes down, Valor's that citizen as well. Citizens do evacuate there. Sky patches, they're not exactly durable. They're 500 health. They can store up 100 units. They do have 25 wood cost, so pretty cheap, but 8 favors the more expensive part of their cost. Got some basic walls there. Blue's going to try to lock down his half of the map. He's drawing a line in the sand. Or should I say snow? The white sand. Marmellos and some Promethean being queued on up. I still don't know where his original Promethean went. Blue has a dock over here. There's actually a deposit of 3 and 3 there, so there's a lot of good amount of fishies there. And even branch out over here as well. Hades is actually pretty close to aging up. There's a Symphiline Bird, so Uranus now age up, gets out the Herpestes tree. Going for some more Dryads as well. And Blue is aging up as well, going for Aphrodite, get access to Nemean Lion. No medium Terma just yet. I would assume this would have been medium Terma. Not like it would be necessarily very useful. We got a very good number of Promethean though. 6 Promethean. They have the upgrade as well for the additional offspring. So this is quite a bit of a force by red. Dryads do not count this number up here since they are 0 population. Temple will be destroyed. No relics inside apparently. No medium Marmello research just yet either. Another Herpestes tree now deployed in the field. Blue needs more. Well, not like he can get more heroes. Does have access to the curse to hit those Turmas. They're not necessarily a high threat unit right now. Does use it now. Wait, did a good number... Oh, the Promethean got turned into... Nope. He had a good number of Mellows, so it looks like a good number of Mellows got hit by the curse. Hoplites would be overall pretty good. Almost, like I said, not that great at the moment. Red's force being cleaned up quite significantly. Symphony Bird does get picked off by Achilles. And Red's starting to fall back now. Curse was very good. The Turmos were just not good at the situation. He is getting a good number of Dryads, but Ajax and Achilles and now Chiron's here as well. I'm not sure where that sky patch is loading and unloading. The number of Promethean offspring are here. But Red needs a bit more force. Cherry Ballista is probably a good call against all these Hoplites. Blue's now bringing some Dryads from the tree. Very nice. That Herbicides tree was pulled far too forward. Now Blue will get some extra units on the field. Does use Valor another Turma. May have been better to do that onto a Chariot Ballista. Yeah, I think Red put too many Turmos on the field, and Red does back the game now. The Zangrade saying, "Thank you for watching," and on the next replay. As mentioned beforehand, my voice is, my throat just getting pretty stuffed up, so that shall be my last replay tonight. So